Well,
Or
I am not Tessa Marie because that is not who you truly are. What I am is somebody who loves to enlighten, educate, and encourage everyone I meet to live their best life. This is who I am. The person who will say, "You're good enough. You have it. Let's go do this. Jump in. I will be here with you." That's me. That's who I am.
mm, and today, the reason why me and Tessa decide to do this today, and we're red because today is Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and and not because it's Valentine's Day, but I love talking about love, and I love asking Tessa about love and relationship, and you have so much wisdom.
Well, yeah. It's not quite. It's something you develop. It's not the way wisdom will is there for you and me, but we have to observe it because it's outside sometimes, and we have to listen, and then we use it. And the more we use it, the better it gets.
Yes. So the more we use it, the better it gets. So can you tell us how old you are? I don't know. Is
I have to get a comfortable spot for that one. I am going to be 79 on the 10th of May this year.
79 years old.
Yeah, I am.
Wow. Wow. And so how okay, because most 79-year-olds, I don't see a lot of them doing what you do. You come on, you do lives every morning at 8 a.m. Do you do
Yeah,
it Monday through Friday?
Monday to Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
You go live, you written books, you show up, you're inspiring people on the internet that you have never met. And what is it in you that gives this drive for you to keep going, like your energy?
The thing is, a long time ago, I made up my mind that I wanted to make sure that no matter what I do, when I am doing it, I'm healthy. I am strong and determined. And so that's why I got the 5 pillars of prosperity, because I wanted to have a balanced emotional prosperity, balanced mental prosperity, balanced physical prosperity, and balanced spiritual, and of course, balanced financial. Everything has to be working. So because of that, I took my time and I polished it. I started quite young. I started quite young doing yoga and stuff that would help me physically. And then I started to observe how people behave around me, people I met, and how they reacted emotionally. And I decided, would you like to work like, so this one or that? Which one do you want to be like? So I developed those skills. And that is what keeps me going.
Wow. So you develop the skills and keep you going. But what I love about you is your energy. You have an energy like a 40 and 30-year-old.
The thing is, I haven't quite figured out how a 79-year-old should behave. I don't know if there's a certain way you react, a certain way you are, you have to be. I have no idea what that is. But I do know that you have to be your best every day.
Mm.
So you have to get up ready to go. So to do that, though, you have to take care of not only the physical, the mental, the emotional. It's everything. You cannot be your best if you do not have money to pay your living expenses. You can't. And you cannot be your best if you have the money, but physically you cannot do anything for yourself. So that's why they all intertwine. You cannot be your best if you always believe that you're not good enough. Oh, I'm old. I'm going to sit in the corner over here and behave and be quiet. But physically, spiritually, you have to be on top of things. You have to know what to do and how to do it so that you get there. So that is what propels me. Is in a funny way, which most people will not like. It's not only loving yourself, but it's having a little bit of vain to be has pride in yourself,
Mhm.
and to realize an ego is not always bad. People think, oh, she just has a big ego. Well, where is it? Give it to me. Show me how's the size of the ego. It's big. Show it to me. But they cannot get it. They make an assumption that, hey, Tessa Marie has a big ego. No, I don't. I have an ego that tells me you have to keep going. You cannot fail. You have to
Mm.
keep moving. You cannot sit on your butt for hours. You will be stiff. You have to get up. You have to drink so much water. The ego tells me that. So is it wrong to have a certain ego? What do you think?
No.
No.
Yeah, 'cause I think we need it's like the yin and the yang. You learn to dance with it.
You have to dance. You have to, like, life is a journey. And on the journey called life, there's going to be many times you will be going on a smooth road, and then you get a little rocky road and it's sweeter. And then this one is salt, and that one is really harsh. But does that mean you stop because there's a snowstorm and you do not get up and go the next morning? That's what life is.
Mm.
You have to keep going until going says, okay, that's enough. So then you can't go. But if you have the ability to go and you're not going, that tells me that you don't value you enough. Like, I remember years and years ago, I went for I love walking, and I live in a kind of forestry area, which is really quite beautiful. And I went for a walk with one friend, one neighbor. And then about 15 minutes after I got home, another neighbor called and said, would you like to come on a walk with me? So I said, sure. And then my husband said, but you just came back. I said, I'm going to go because I would really be upset if in 10 years I want to go and I cannot go. So now that I can go, I'm going to go. And that's my philosophy.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, now and okay, we're gonna get into about like love and relationship. So Tessa, what does love feel like to you? And not just in the happy moments, but in vulnerable and hard times. How
Um,
does love feel like to you?
so I was talking to somebody, was it today or yesterday? And they were talking about love. And when they were talking about love, they said, even in a difficult time, you have this, you can find love that is hard and you're going through lots of stuff. But inside of there is something to love and in difficult times. But when we are going through difficult times, we do not realize that is the time we have to pull on the love. When we have a challenge, when things are not working in the relationship, that's the time we should say, okay, so it's not working, but we got together because what it is you liked about that person that drew you together. And then when you're going to crucify them to the point that you're done with them, and then you had this relationship, this arrangement, this marriage, this whatever, and out of that blossom these human beings that without this person you wouldn't have that person in your life. So if you love your children, you have to remember, even if the marriage ended up bad, that because of that person you have these people that you love so much. And if you can do that, then you're going to let that person go. Because if you have these challenges and you pull it from outside into your gut, it's going to make you sour. And the last thing the children want to hear, especially the little, nasty things about the father or the mother. It's not right to do that.
Yeah, because like for me, when like the question is like, how does love feel like to you? Not when it's not in the not just in the happy moments, but the vulnerable and hard times. Because I feel like love in that time, you have to like soften. You have to like surrender.
You're not surrendering for the other person. That is where we are mistaken.
Yeah, not surrender, but for yourself to like,
Yeah, it's not a surrender, but it's realizing you have to ask that question. And it's a question we should ask all the time in so many different circumstances.
mhm,
How is this decision I am going to make now going to affect me in the future?
mm,
because it's you. As much as you say, oh, I love that person, I'm done with them.
It's kind of hard to do that in the hard times.
It's easy to do that in the hard time, to say I'm done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is why you have to squeeze something in there. You have to, that is why it's challenging. And if you ask, my parents were married for 70 something years. And one of the things that my mother and my father always said, we disagree, but we know why we are together. And if above all of the mess, it's so challenging. I had to face that with my husband. He didn't want to stop smoking. And yet smoking was killing him. And he wouldn't stop smoking. So what do you do with this person? Do you hate them because they have an addiction you cannot control, and they certainly cannot control? And if you have never had an addiction, you will never understand what this person is going through. Even if you do, you don't. So it's up to you to avoid what is happening outside of you to enter inside of you. That is where it changes you. That verbal insult from that person, the fight, the bad words, if you embrace them and bring them in you, it will change you forever into that person maybe you do not want to ever be. And that's what I always got above it. And for a female, it's very seldom, or it may be in my case, when I first got married, when you walked into the room and we're having a fight, you would call the ambulance, the police, the people in the green uniform to take me away. Because he sat there quite calm, cool, and collected, reading his book, listening to music, watching TV, or whatever. And this crazy woman is jumping up and down and is talking. And then I saw myself in the mirror and I went, holy shit.
That was you?
Yeah. I said, wow. And from that day, I made a decision. You're not deaf. You're not blind. You're not dumb. I'm going to tell you what is wrong once, and I'm going to walk away from it. And that was my change. So we did have fights. I would express, yeah. And then he would come, okay, Tess, what do you want me to do? It's almost like he didn't know what he had to do.
Yeah.
So yes. So you have to find, it works differently for everybody, but you need to find something to hold on to. You need to, and it's sometimes very, very small, but when you get a thread on an outfit and you pull it, it gets longer. And you just have to hold on to it. And you have to maybe sit and evaluate what it is I am going to lose or miss if I do not have this person in my life. What effect will it have on my life? And am I prepared to go without that? If I could make my husband better, it would be better to have him here now. But I couldn't do that for him. So I had to work to protect me, so I could be there for the offsprings from him. You see what I mean? So this is all you have to choose to. It's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. Yeah.
And many times you're negotiating with yourself.
That's true. So what part of yourself has your partner helped you discover or heal?
He gave me wings to fly. He was very supportive of go for it. You can do it. You're dynamite. You have it. Just do it. You want to do it? Do it. What are you worried about? What people saying? Do your thing. And he would support me, and he would show up for me, and he would be there for me. He was more nurturing in our relationship than I was. Even with the children, I was the sergeant major. He was the nurturing one. He was going to bring it out, and so I just let him do his thing. Like
that's
he would show up, and they would ask him for the meaning of a word, and if they saw me and they came, I said, "Go get a dictionary," and he would go, "Well, I think that word came from the Egyptians, or maybe from the Greek word meaning that," and he's giving them the whole homework. I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I was going to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been in a relationship for how long with your husband?
Well, he it was
or
30 years, 35 years, something like
35
that.
years?
He died.
Yeah, because I noticed that with my husband too, like
No,
he's a
it's more than
mirror.
that. What did I say? It's more than that.
35?
No,
Oh, more
56. I'm 79, 22. So 56 years this year. But,
56?
yeah, but he died. He
Yeah,
died 11 years ago. So it was
yeah,
44, 45 years.
44. Okay. Yeah, that's still quite
So,
a
yeah.
long
Yeah.
relationship.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so because I noticed that, our partners are mirrors for us.
Yeah, they are.
Can you explain more about how uh to somebody that doesn't know, like our partners are mirror for us for things that we need to heal?
Yeah. The thing is that they let you see you as you really are. Not in a bad way. um like there are people that would have a partner that you can do something, and you have done it, and the person look at it, and the person would say, if I had your talent, I could do it better. I would do it much better than you. That is not a mirror. The partner that sees you will say to you, wow, not many of us can do this. I must commend you for that. It's really amazing. Let me look at it, and let's look at it together. What do you think? You see, so that's the difference in the wow, you did it. That doesn't mean it's perfect, and maybe between the two of us we can make it better. But the other one will say to you, if I could do this, I would have done it better than you. So the partner that's the mirror will bring it out and say, let's look at it
Mm.
from my eye. This is what I see, and this is where you're showing. Why don't you do this and see? Let's do it together. Practice, and let's do it together. And that I miss from my husband. Like, he hated gardening, but he would tell me, and I always said, "How can you smell roses when you're sitting out there smoking?" And he
Ah,
would say to me, he would say to me, in the morning when I go outside, and there's a certain time the roses just have a fragrance, all of them. And he said, I can walk and stand there and I can smell it. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. And then one day I went, and he said, come smell it. And you could smell it from
mm.
where he was standing with his cigarette.
Yeah.
So he enjoyed the garden. He loved the garden, yet he didn't know the difference between a rose bush or peony or anything for that matter. He gave you the tomato for the celery if you wanted a plant. Until there was tomatoes on it, and then
Well, what a beautiful place to go smoke. I mean, to go outside and there's this beautiful garden with
yeah,
all kinds of flowers. Like, that's beautiful to see.
that is what he did. He always said that. So
Yeah.
when they mirror, they tell you what you're doing is great, and they show you what is great first. They don't criticize what you could improve on. They say, how do you like the rest of it? This is outstanding. I like that. Can you keep doing it this way? And that makes you think. So there's your mirror.
Mm. So when you're hurt or misunderstood, what's the most vulnerable thing you can do to communicate that to your partner?
The truth, but not when you are really, really upset. You have to wait for the right time. I call it um, choosing to live to fight another day. So you might walk away from the argument at the time, and you know what, it's okay, and leave it alone. And then wait for the appropriate. There's always going to be another chance. There always is. We just don't have the patience. We think we have to do it now. You can pause.
Yeah, I think pausing is the most important thing because
Yeah.
when you're hurt or misunderstood, like sometimes people can just like rage and like kind of just speak their mind at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I
Wh-
call it, it's like you have a confrontation,
Mhm.
and there's a knife between the two of you. And this person has the handle of the knife, and the blade is pointed at you. So, should you push or should you pull? Whatever you're going to do, you're going to get hurt. It's the blade.
there's a lesson in it, in everything.
Yeah. So I would say, okay, the blade is not in my favor. You have to find a way to flip it. So
So how do you flip it for yourself?
I used to say to my husband, you remember, how you treat me during the day has a lot of weight on how I treat you during the night.
Oh, I can relate to that. I can totally relate to that.
And it always seems to straighten them out. You know, I said, remember, your behavior during the day is very conducive to how I treat you later today. Later tonight.
Oh,
Or at
that's
any
so
time.
good, Tessa.
Or at any time. Because sometimes out of the blue, you can tell they're all frisky. And I'm going, you just refuse to do this? No, you're frisky. What is wrong with you?
What you
So yeah, that's what you have to remember.
Yeah.
That you can all you don't have to fight. You just have to have the right words. Just the right words. People do not react to criticism very easily. They don't. So you have to find a way and then express what it is you like. What do you like? That person, I have had friends that they're, well, he should know what I like. I said, we've been mad. I said, come on. When did you ever tell him? No, well, and he just
Sometimes
should
they
read
don't
your
know.
mind.
Sometimes they don't know.
Sometimes you yourself don't know.
Yeah.
But the people, he wants to please you, or she wants to please you. Tell them what you like and what you desire, what you want from them.
Yes.
Instead of just assuming they should know, or they should know. They should not know anything. They should know what they want because they have to deal with you, not with, you know, your situation. They want to know what they want. A child will tell you, I don't like this person. I don't want to go by them. I don't need that. I don't like that. I know one. And if they cannot say, they don't know how to put the sentence together, no want it. You know what I mean? And yet you become an adult and you assume that this person, because they're married to you, should know everything about you. That's wrong. That is putting too much responsibility on somebody else. It's like taking your responsibility and saying, here, you take it. I couldn't live like that. I would have to run away.
Yeah. Hey, Rena. Rena put a comment on here, says, looking great, ladies.
Thanks, Rena. I cannot see the comments, so I'm just and so no.
Oh, yeah. Because when I just think about relationship too, and being like when you're hurt or misunderstood, sometimes my partner, he doesn't know. So to me is, n- finding the time usually is at night is when we talk and to like, kind of express myself. Before I get to express myself, I get like kind of like it's really hard, it's like really hard to speak it, but eventually my voice kind of cracks when I'm talking at first. But once I communicate in a like calm, loving way, you know, um, that helps too versus screaming at him or like, assuming that they know that they hurt you or whatnot. But to me, is learning to communicate in a way that's like in a loving, calming way. Even though when my voice cracks in the first couple sentence, after I kind of speak for like a minute or two, my voice is like clear again. Like it just comes out like, oh, I feel so much better. And and also learning about communication. I read the nonviolent communication book, and I guess my husband took courses at the university here on this book, and I just knew about it a couple years ago. So we're both working on our communication and how can we communicate better. So I think that has helped our relationship uh, so much. It helps, to communicate with each other in a love and calming way.
Yes, it is. For me, and what worked was my silent time in the morning brought me balance.
Mm.
So my time alone, early before the household woke up, that's what brought me balance. And I would be, I would take that time to rehearse and to talk about what it is I do not enjoy or what you did that kind of threw me off. So I would have a little rehearsal. So I would do the clearing of the throat, and I would be so. Once I learned after that crazy time when I said I saw myself in the mirror ranting and raving, and the man was calm, cool, and collected, I changed. So I started expressing myself, but I would think of it. I would sit, say, okay, I'm going to think, how am I going to tell it to him so that he gets it? And then I would bring it out in a calm way, because I am fiery. I am really fiery. So I learned to take that down to get what I want from that person. And I call it living to fight another day. And that's why I always took that song, The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. I love it because of that.
What song is it?
The Gambler. You have
Oh,
to
the
know
Gambler.
when to walk away, when to run. You do not count your winnings at the table. You don't do everything right away. You take time out.
Yeah.
And that pause. This morning, I tested myself on pausing. I do that a lot. I I turn off just I get up at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time. So I get up maybe when you're turning over for your first sleep. And I got up and I'm leaving the kitchen and I turn off the light. And then all of a sudden, all these years, right? 56 years, paused. And then I realized as soon as I paused, it was not even 30 seconds. I was able to see clearly. And that I know for sure works in life. If you pause before you answer, there are few people that do that. I learned that from watching politicians. I learned to pause and to reiterate the question before I answered it.
Mm.
Because in that pause, it gives you a chance to think before you speak. And I learned that from Bill Clinton, Barack, Pierre Trudeau, a few people. I noticed they would say, so what you're asking me is, and they would say what the person said and then
Mm.
respond. And I said, oh, okay, that gives you time to think. So
Yeah.
that's the pause. That's
Yeah.
the pause.
Nice. So you've been with your husband for 44 years. So in that 44 years, how do you spice things up when you feel like a relationship is dull?
um, touch,
Touch.
touch.
Uh-huh.
The touch.
But how? Like if so just touch my husband? Like what do you mean touch?
Well, a hug. I don't know. Like Brian would be cooking, and he would be in the kitchen cooking. He loved to cook. I love to cook. So we had that common thing. It was like a team, and we cooked fabulous meals together and had 30 people for dinner. The family, siblings and their kids, and he would be doing a spaghetti sauce, for example. I can put my chin on his shoulder and inhale this, and he would turn. Many times the spoon and the sauce went somewhere else.
Here comes
But
Tessa.
yeah, but we would hug. We sat. We talked. We sat. I had a neighbor on the right side of us, left side of us, facing the street, and she looked at us in the garden and she said, "Aren't you two ever tired of being together?" But we would sit and just enjoy the energy of us. So, but touching, he had. You would maybe. I went to a like an exhibition where they have people who's having wares selling stuff with my friend, and she wanted to see a psychic. So she went to the psychic booth and and there were lots of people, and the woman is there. And I'm taller, so I stand at the back and I'm waiting to see what she's going to find out, because she still wants it. And then the woman points at me and she said, "Here, there's a man with white hair standing next to you, and he's doing this to you."
That was your husband?
Yeah, he always said that. I go, okay, I'm also here now. Enough is enough. And I just grabbed my phone and said, let's go. But he always did that. He would come, if he came here now, and he would just do this. with his fingers down my arm. He met me in the kitchen, in the garden. That was one of his touch all the time.
So,
But
okay. So, okay, this is off topic. So now that he's, you know, not here in physical form,
yeah.
do you ever get a sense that he's around you?
Well, yeah, because it's not the smoke though. I don't smell the cigarette smoke. I just feel the presence.
Mm.
It's not the smoke. It's just the presence. And Jillian, a week after he died, she heard, and she knew it was him clearing his throat because so he let her know that he was there. So in the presence, you will, and then we also have a special bench in the garden where he sat to smoke, and it said reserved, and his name is on it. So yeah, so you get the presence, and sometimes I'm grateful for him.
Yeah. And so what do you think that he's at now? Like the afterlife? Like where do you think his soul, his spirit, like where do
I
you think they go?
I don't know where they go. I think from to be honest with you, for some reason I cannot tell you, but I know I feel it's a garden. Not for him, for everyone, for everyone. I had the experience with my dad. And I saw him. My dad was 90 something, 93, 95 when he died. And I saw him lift in front of me. And he must have been about 35 years old with a plaid shirt. And my dad always liked a plaid shirt. And it was in a garden. And I saw it. So, and it wasn't that I was seeking, it was just a vision that passed through like almost like a movie. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
So I've
so
experienced that.
so now that your husband has been gone for
It will be 11
11,
years in June.
11 years, how does
Mhm.
that feel?
I have such amazing memories, I have such, like, eh, there's so much. It's like my husband lived so I could have a great life. To me, that's how I felt.
Mm.
So there's so many amazing memories and funny ones. Like my husband, we traveled a lot and he wouldn't pack not even a sock, not even one side of a sock in a suitcase. So much so we would get to the where we're going and he would leave his suitcase. He just leave it and walk and he would be on the bus. I said, well, where's your suitcase? Oh, I thought you had it. So I never got mad at those things because there were so many other things he did that I didn't want to do. But it was always funny. He would say, oh, you didn't pack my pink shirt. And I go, you're colorblind. What is your pink shirt? So things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it was, my husband didn't manage money either. He didn't care. As long as he had money to buy whatever he wanted whenever he wanted it. But he also was very given to a fault. So you have to watch somebody like that. He would just give it away. So then I had to take money management and handle it seriously.
Yeah, because you wrote a few books about money.
Yeah, so I had to do that because otherwise there would be none. He would just, oh, you want money here? Take that. You want that? Everybody. And I said, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
What do
So,
you want?
yeah, the reason why I ask you about like how does it feel now that your husband's gone? Because I just think about how it's been 35 years since my dad left.
Yeah.
And if somebody asks me how I feel today now, I feel fine.
No, no,
Like
I,
like not fine, but like this is how life was handed to me. And do I miss my dad? Like yesterday was his birthday and I was like, "Oh, he's probably I don't like I still remember my dad, but it's like it's been so long that I don't know, like I just kind of like we just move on and now his memory lives with us."
of course, the memory lead, but you were young when he passed on, right? You were
Yes.
young, you're
Yeah.
7. So that's a little bit different.
Mhm.
So when it's his birthday, you will remember, oh, it's his birthday. So you let the birthday go. So
Yeah.
on July 25th was going to be my husband's birthday. We were born the same year, you know. So I will celebrate it
Mhm.
in a way. And I just remember him and what he would like for his birthday and things like that. But when you have a person in your life that is so entrenched in your life, so involved in making sure
Mhm.
you're okay, and he used to say that to me. He said, "The only thing I want is for you to be well looked after." And yet I worked and made as much money as he. I made all the investments, so I controlled a lot of that. But he didn't do that. So I invested the money. I bought properties, and he would sign. So things like that. That you're buying this condo, yeah, I'm going to rent it out. Yeah, okay, let's go. Where do I sign? So, so I had that. So I remember that. And is it okay? So my birthday is close to Mother's Day. And since I was a child, I've been very, very adamant about celebrating my birthday. So my dad went out of his way, so much so because there were so many younger siblings than me, that my birthday was. My dad was an architect, so he dressed in a tongue crier's outfit. He had a scroll, he rang a bell, and he declared my birthday would be celebrated on May 6th because May 10th was too close to Mother's Day.
Mm.
So I have siblings that in their little mind, they're grown men now, and they still call me on the 6th of May. So my husband used to do that. Here's your official birthday, and then here's your birthday on May 10th. So he always fool around with that. So these are the things I remembered about him.
Yeah. And so, what do you tell somebody that's in a relationship and they're having a hard time, like, um, reconnecting with their husband? Like, they feel distant from their partner. Ho What is the first thing you do, or how can you help them reconnect?
I am not a relationship expert,
Yeah, I know
but,
that. Yeah, what
but
but for you.
what I say to them is, why did you get together? What is it that brought you guys together? Do you remember? Do you know what you were looking for? What was it? And that's all I would say. Think about it.
Mhm.
And then, so what got you to begin this journey with this human being? What was it? And when you got on the journey, what was happening? Were you aware? And that is why yesterday I did a YouTube video, and I said, you have to choose. Women have to learn to choose what they're looking for in a man, and at any age. So in my time, a lot of women, and before, they just the man whistle like them and they liked him. That's wrong. You should be able to remember better. That's good. How you
Oh,
got.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
go back there and say how you fell in love. Why? What was it? Was there anything along the way that you didn't like? Oh, he will change. Nobody changes for you. People don't change. What did Pope John Paul say? It is as it is. This is it. That's who they were made to be. If there is a change to take place, you have to follow what Mahatma Gandhi said. Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King. You be the change you're looking for. You change.
Yes, absolutely. You
Instead
can't
of you
change
going
for
to change that
anybody
person,
else,
you can't. You're going to get
and
frustrated.
nobody's gonna change for you.
No, you adapt or you change if you want to be in that relationship. Yeah, what you like in them and what they liked in you. So my husband loves seeing me dressed, and I love dressing up. I always put together, even if I'm not working. And it really completely baffles me that people just let themselves go because I'm married now. I don't have to dress like that. So that's why you have no brow, and that's why your face looks like you went through a bath salt and you forgot to use some olive oil to take the salt from your face. And that's why you're in the house and you're barefoot and your dress is. That's why, and that's why your stomach is hanging on your man and you don't care and you don't change your clothes. You forgot to comb your hair. That's why. No, I would say something. because I would present myself in a nice way. And I expect you to do the same. So people talk and their words are frightening. And they're saying, I will just I'm just going to throw something on me. I'm not a garbage dump. Why am I throwing something? I'm going to dress. Even my bed, when I talk about my bed, I don't make my bed, I dress it. So when I look at it, I want to go in it. And it's the same thing with you. Dress yourself. When you pass and you see yourself in the mirror, you need to stop and say, is that what I want the world to see? Again, it's the ego, right? I always said they tell you your ego is bad. Your ego is not bad. It's your internal thing. Your ego is you. Your ego is saying, you know what? You look better when you're dressed up. You don't have to flaunt it and tell people that. But you know, deep inside, my ego prevents me from looking like a crazy woman. My ego prevents me from stopping and failing and not continuing and not working at what I desire to have in my life. My ego tells me, you got to do this. I'm not going to tell that to you, but I tell that to me. Yeah, we have to do this. We got this.
Tessa, nowadays, like this is for the month of February for 13. This is my first time dressing up and putting makeup on.
Wow.
I am I I'm like Rena, sweats and yoga pants all day long.
I do wear yoga pants and I do wear yoga pants. I exercise. I can show you my mats I have here. I exercise every morning. But because I am on social media every day,
Yeah.
I'm always ready. But I was raised to be like that. You see, my mother would not allow us to come to breakfast if we weren't groomed for the day. Your hair had to be combed. You couldn't come to breakfast in your nightgown. Why? She used to say, get ready for the day. And that is one of the reasons why you wake up early. You are waiting for the day. You are prepared for the day because you don't know what is going to throw on you. If you find sweatpants, that works for you, good. It does not work for me. I would trip on the sweatpants by 10. I do wear track pants, but I'm always made up so that if you call and say, Tessa, I'm going live, or if I see you on the live and I see you're not doing, you are there, I will jump in
Yeah.
and you'll say, can you come? I say, sure, because I know I'm ready to come. So that is getting ready for the day. I do not have to say, hold on, I have to go get some lipstick and change. No, but I'm always like that.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It works for you.
it works
Yeah.
for me. And that is what, when we talk about coaching, is being the best version of yourself that you can be, not of somebody else. The person who is telling you how to behave do not even know themselves how to behave. That's
Mhm.
why they figure they can say, oh, Rosie, you should do this and do that. All those years we were together doing things, you never hear me say, oh, you should do this. You say, you're going to do it. Come on, I'm there with you.
Yeah.
When I say I'm going to do it, okay, you can do it. That's what you would say to me. We said that to each other, and you could too. And remember when we would talk with Erasmus and Angela, it was always, let's do this. So you are doing it. I am your friend. I'm standing next to you. I
We're
cannot,
all doing it. Yes.
yeah, I cannot be on the opposite side of the street from you. I have to be next to you, and you need the support, and you can count on that. And some people will not help you because they believe that by helping you, they are not going to have enough for themselves.
Mm. But have you encountered people like that
Of
since
course,
you have?
yeah. The first time I asked, you ready? Ah, the first time I asked Angela for help, she told me, you can figure it out. You just figure it out. I go, okay. She wouldn't help.
Mm.
And then that's how I got to know Yuko.
Oh, you go. Uh-huh.
And then I said, Yuko, how do you do this? Okay, okay, let me show you. And that's how I got to know Yuko.
Mm.
But
And
she wouldn't help me. She said, you'll figure it out. And That's not good.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
When
Yeah.
you do that, you become the beaver in your own river. The minute you are not capable out of your heart, take a little bit of time and help another person, you are blocking your flow of success. Sooner
Mm.
or later, your river dries up. You become the beaver in the river. What do you think?
You become the beaver in the river?
Yeah.
I don't understand the
A
I'm
beaver.
sorry. I don't get it. The beaver in the river.
Okay.
What does a
So
beaver have to do in the river?
the
I don't
beaver
know.
dance. Okay. So you know the beaver, the animal, right?
The beaver, yeah, with the long.
The animal. It like looks like a big rat.
Okay, uh-huh.
So it likes to swim in its own dam. So it makes
Okay.
a pool, but it goes upstream where the water is and it moves trees, bite them, moves whatever it can to make a big spot for the water to stay there, for it to swim in.
Oh,
So when
okay.
it does that, the water is not going to trickle downstream. So the people at the bottom do not get any water. But that
Mm,
is if the beaver, but sometimes we human, we become the beaver in our own river. We stop our flow of success by not taking the time to help and assist another body to get somewhere else.
mm.
So when you do not help, and they have another say, this person is holding a pint, and you expect them to give you a gallon. If they only have a pint, they're not capable of giving you a gallon. So that's the same thing. Because if I teach you, then you might get better than me.
Yeah, but I think we're all on this journey together. Like,
But you have to be, you have to know that though.
yeah.
You have to know that. When you do not, my dad said, knowledge is not yours to keep. What you know, you must teach. So if you don't let it go, life is like our body is the best machine ever created. And it teaches us how to live our life. You eat and you have to excrete. So you take in knowledge and you give it away. And you take more knowledge and you give it away. But you're always taking it in and handing it out. When you stop doing that, you get sick. Your bowels will burst if you do not go to the washroom and you just keep eating and eating and eating. Your intestines will burst and you will get septic poisoning and die. If you have a vacuum cleaner and you put a socks in the back, it's not going to suck anything up. It needs to let off the air. And that is what life is. You have to give others what you already have. That's why you have to give. That doesn't mean you give them all your money or your money. It's just you're listening to somebody saying, I got your back. I'm here for you. Giving them a kind word. Oh, you don't know how to do that? That's what you do. Just go in there and do this and do that. Let me show you how. No, you just open the door for somebody else to come in and help you. You're not blocking your flow.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what
Nice. Okay, so what's the most important lesson love has taught you about yourself?
it begins with you though.
Yeah,
You
it does.
need to love you just as you are. You have to realize not loving any part of you is not going to make it better. It's not going to change it. And you have to also realize you must love you first and understand you, your perfect imperfections. What you like the most might be not perfect, but you like it. You love you. And if you love you, you're going to take care of you. And if you take care of you, I know for sure you will take care of me because you know what it is to take to love yourself. And many of us women, and I learned that by observation, how can I love my children more than I love me?
Mm,
I can't. Because to love my children is to stay as healthy as I can so that my children, as adults, do not have to worry about me.
mm,
So, therefore, I need to love me enough and take care of me so that they can live their life without saying, I wonder, oh, mom is alone. I wonder if she ate, mom. You know what I mean? So it begins with you. Love you first. If you love you, then you will understand how to love somebody else because you
Mhm.
know what to do, how to take
Yeah.
care of you.
And to me too is when you know and love yourself, it makes other people like it makes your partner better for him to love you
Yes.
because you
And
know who you are and you know how to love yourself. So it just like I don't know how to put it in words, but it's like you were showing our partner how to love us when we
how
love
to how to
ourselves.
how to love themselves. How to love themselves. We're showing them not, hey, my wife, she always takes care of herself. And you know what? I cannot not go to the dentist and get my teeth clean because she goes to the dentist. She takes care of herself. She looks good. She exercises. She eats right. You don't have to force people to do what you want them to do. You just have to show them what you do. Be the change you want. And they'll get sooner or later get fed up of watching you sawing. Oh, why do I always get a cold and you never catch the cold? It's because maybe, just maybe, I take my vitamins, I drink a lot of water, I watch what I eat, I get a lot of sleep. And you're sitting there watching TV all night long, fall asleep in the couch, and your back hurts the next day, and you wonder why. You have a bed, honey. Come to bed. You have a bed.
Yeah.
How many women are saying that? So on Valentine's Day, I have a friend. She's turned 70, I think, last year, so she's going to be 71 this year. So it's a gap. And on a Valentine's Day, we will go to the stores where they sell all these fancy outfits, like sexy lingerie, sexy stuff. And we would always buy something and for Valentine's Day or for our husband's birthday, something that we would wear. So,
Yeah, Tessa.
of course, that is something you would do.
Yeah,
And so
is that what how you spice things up?
yeah, we spice things up by doing small things. You know what I mean? And sometimes uh, you can sit on the couch and spice it up. You sit, you put your foot across his leg. Men cannot stop touching. So where does that lead? It's like when somebody said, "Oh, I'm going to ask my husband to give me a massage." I said, "I hope you know you're going to get more than a massage because he starts massaging you on the back, and then you end up being on your back. So what's the point? Funny, figure that out. So when you do that, be prepared. You
Be
see what I mean?
prepared. If you
You're
ask
going to be
your
fit.
partner for a massage, it might lead to you
Yeah,
being on
he
your
said,
back.
"How could you massage my feet?" Before you know it, his hands is up on your thighs. Where is he going? That's not my feet. But you don't say that. You just coo into it. And you have to be willing to realize you need to sex it up. I mean, some things I did were daring, very, very daring. I wouldn't say it now, but I'll tell you one day. But it brought such pleasure to him that it was worth it. Just the thought of what I just did.
Mhm.
You did what? I would get that. I was, I would go out for a Valentine's Day dinner, and he said, "What about this?" I said, "I have that for you." And then I would just do something. You know what? Oh my God! How many people are on? Are there people? Anybody on that knows us?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's on.
No, another time, Rosie. Another time. When we get really crazy, we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, Tessa, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you. I mean, you're 79 years old. Um, it's such a pleasure just because it's like, how often do I get to talk to a 79-year-old?
I don't know. How old is your mom? How old is your
My mom's like 71.
Oh my God.
So it's really rare for me to be talking to a 79-year-old and telling us, to talk about love and relationships.
It's really, I always say, when we come to the point where we're talking at that age, I'll be 79. If I die now, they'll say I'm 78, 79 in May, right? And you're in your late 30s, early 40s, or how old you are. And there's a reason, though. I really believe there's a reason why we're having this conversation. And maybe you already know, or maybe you don't know. Or maybe somebody out there heard something and say, yeah, I really should change that up. The nicest experiences you can have is at the end of the journey to still be able to hold hands and walk down the street,
Mm.
or to be touched by that person. And if you ask me, in all what is going on, I miss the touch. I miss the hugs. I miss everything of that. So that's what is important. So there is a reason why we did this today. I don't know what the reason is, and maybe you don't know, but one day somebody out there will, it's going on the internet. So one day somebody out there will find out.
Yeah.
You know,
So, uh, is there anything else that you want the viewers to know?
the
Like,
thing is,
what if you can just leave us one golden nugget? What would it be?
your most important golden nugget is to take care of you. The shell that is fine. Like when you talk about implants and the explant, right? That was taking care of the shell. But you're going to be shocked. You went and you took care of the inside.
Mm.
Emotionally, your emotional pillar of prosperity was weak when you did the implant.
Yeah.
Emotionally, it was you were a wreck. Just why you it's not good enough. I need to put the implant. But then when you matured and all the work that you maybe did emotional, I don't need this. I don't even know what this is. I shouldn't have it in me. And so that is to realize you're good enough just the way you are. The physical body is a physical body. We need to take care of it. But what really, really matters is the inside. That is why we need five, like 5 fingers. That's why we were given 5 senses, 5 fingers. And if one is broken, the other four, like drunken sailors, right? So it's if I give you anything, it's the first thing you have to do is to get to know the real person inside of you. And our emotional prosperity, it gets targeted by our 5 senses. What we hear, what we see, what we feel, what we taste, what we touch, the 5 senses. That's what affects our life the most is our 5 senses, because you see something and say, oh, she got an implant. I People talk, when the baby was born, I couldn't get parents, I had to go do that. My stomach was over here, so I had to bring it over there. You see what I mean? So it's because it's happening outside, it's not happening inside.
Mm-hmm.
They see it on TV, so they want it. But if the inside is okay, the outside is okay. So let me give you the thing. The man is reading a newspaper and his son is bothering him. But he had noticed on the newspaper there was a map, a globe of the world. So then he tore it in pieces. He said to the son, go put the world together. And the son came back really quickly and said, Dad, I got the world together. He said, already? So quickly? He said, yeah. The moment I put the man together, the world was okay. On the other side of the globe, there was a figure of a man. And the kid took that. He said, I put the man together. It's just a thing to show you. Once you are together inside of you, the world is okay. So all the work we have to do, polish the skin, polish the shell, but we need to make sure the inside is okay. The real thing, the real person is inside of you. So that's the only thing. Work on the inside of you. Go in, spend time in meditation, spend time just, and it's not always 10 minutes of it. Okay. And ask yourself that question. If you were me, what would you do today? And talk to that child inside of you. That's the real person. So if a nugget is get to know you, Get to know, heal yourself. They have a cliche, physician, heal yourself. That means you're the doctor, heal yourself, take care of yourself. But
Mhm.
it's not the outside self. Because when the inside is okay, it doesn't matter what the world says, you don't care. And that's what happened to you.
Mm.
You figured
Yeah.
out, no, I know you've said something else, but I'm telling you, emotionally, you needed it, and no, you do not need it. So your pill of emotional prosperity is sowing. That's why you were able to break away from something you did when emotionally you weren't stable, but now you are.
Yeah.
So that's it. Work on the inside. You take care of the outside, but make sure the inside is okay. So when they bite you, when people criticize you, when people, all you have to say is, I did my best.
Yeah.
And walk away. Anyway,
Yes.
heal
Yes. I love that. So take care of yourself, heal the inside.
the inside.
Yeah. And work on yourself.
Work on, it's all about you.
It is all about us. We
It's
can't
just,
change the world until we change
yeah,
us.
us.
And
It's
it begins with us. You want
you,
to change your world, you want to do all these things out here, what's going on? Focus on you first.
you first, you. That's what those Mahatma Gandhi said. You become the change you want to see. Do it.
Yep. And that's the quote where I was able to write the man that, killed my
Yeah,
father.
exactly.
Because of
I
that
went through
quote, it's
that
like, what
journey
am
with
I
you.
going to do?
I went through that journey with you because you
Yeah.
you, you talked a lot about it, and it's at the time, somebody would say, "How can you do that?" I can, because if I keep carrying it with me, I'll never let it go. It's like walking in a desert on a sand dunes and have a load on your back. Again, is he became the beaver in your river. You had to release him, let the water run. And once the water was flowing, you were okay. It took time, it's a lot of work, but you did actionable steps. You forgave him, you stood for him, you understood where he was coming from. But in that, you heal you.
Yes.
You heal you.
I freed myself.
Yeah, you freed
Yeah.
yourself from the bondage that was
Whew.
put on you. You
The
freed yourself.
journey of that and me now, like, whew, that was just the beginning of it.
Yeah, it took a long time. It's 5 years since we've been doing this thing this year.
Has it been 5 years since we've
It's
been doing
20
this?
with 2020. We started this
Oh, wow.
in this late spring of 2020.
Okay. 2020 is when 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
Yeah. So me and Tessa met 5 years ago and we met through
But
uh,
movement maker,
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
Instagram. We're in this movement makers with Evan Carmichael,
Yeah,
and our challenge was to do 100 videos.
yeah, and we did it. And I did it in
Yeah, we did
14 days.
100 videos on Instagram. We went live, we made videos, and whoo, they were
So many people, there are very few of these people still doing stuff. You know that? You don't see them, eh?
no, I don't see myself doing it either sometimes. I
I,
think you
I,
are the only one. You and Yuko, you guys are still doing it.
Belinda,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I cannot think of not too many. It's challenging.
Oh, it's challenging and you can't do this by yourself
No,
because it really does take a community of people that wants to make content, that wants
yeah,
to get better and helping each other because we all have different
yes,
way of doing this,
yeah.
like we
Oh,
all
yeah.
have our own style,
I know
but we
it.
all have our message is like it's the same
It's
but
the
different.
same. A
We're
different,
all walking
yeah,
together.
and we have to know that enough sufficiently so that we are not afraid to help.
Yeah.
Because I found out the more I do this, the better I got at it. That wasn't how we started. We couldn't do that. We
Oh,
would.
I suck. I suck. My first if you
Oh
go
my
back, my
God.
first video, I was like
I have never had the
so
guts to go
animated.
back to the first one. I think I would run away from home and cry. I don't know that.
Oh my gosh.
It has
I
been a journey. And
Yeah.
Rosie, I love being with you. I love you. And I never end a conversation without saying I love you. And it's very uncomfortable for people to accept it. But I love people. I love seeing the light in their eyes, even if they, just do your best. That's all. I'm not going to criticize that person. But when I get together, I want to help you, because in helping you, we don't realize it. We're also helping ourselves to be better. And that is so important to know that I can call you and we can agree to do this thing today.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you pushed me because not pushed me, but invited me because it made me like, okay, I got, I've been on standby for a while and it's time for me to get my, put my shoes on and start walking again.
Yeah, but you just, like I can't stop this because before Instagram I did it with my family. I love doing it. And then the question I ask myself, if you do not do this, then what are you going to use to replace it?
Mm.
So I don't work. I'm retired. So what would I do? So that's the question you have to ask yourself. If you do not do this, what am I going to do? Because you cannot just sit there. Eh,
What are you going to do? And
You
that's
have to
hard
have an
because
answer. It's either doing this until something else comes up. But if you stop, then moss will grow on you. Things will grow on you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If this stagnant water smells, water that does not move eventually begins to smell. A body in motion stays in motion. Motion is lotion for the brain, for the body.
Oh.
So if you love to do something, that doesn't mean it's easy to do it.
Oh no, no. Coming on camera, it took me I had to work through so much stuff in
Yes,
me of why am I scared to come on camera? Why am I afraid to show my voice? So why am I afraid of what other people might think? Like
yeah,
I had to work through it to be
all
here
of
now
us.
today.
Yeah,
Whew, that's a lot of work that
yes, but
I
it's
don't talk
not,
about.
but you just do it, and then getting up in the morning. Who wants to get up at 4:15? But if I do not get up at 4:15, I cannot get all the things I desire to have done. I don't have a to-do list. I have a list of daily goals. I have daily goals. These are the goals I have to accomplish today. So they're goals. They're not a list. They're just the goals. Do this, do this, do this. No, it's the goal number one, goal number two. And you keep going. So what are you going to do? What do you do now anyway?
Oh, what do I do now anyways? That's a great question. I am going to be starting my season 2 podcast again.
Okay.
So I'm getting my guests lined up for that.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be hosting another breathwork locally here in my town.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I and we'll see what else
Good.
go from there. I don't know.
Good for
I'm
that.
moving. So when
But
I'm
you have
moving,
to,
I'm gonna be
but
flowing. So I don't know
yeah.
what along, what comes along.
Well, that is it. It's a journey, right? And on the journey, there's things that comes along. So you don't know. But I'm glad to know that you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So that's to me is important.
Yes. Okay. Tessa, thank you so much. This is our first time coming on live. And you know what? I dig it. I like it.
I told you.
I like it.
I told you it's really nice. That is why Yuko and I this Sunday we're doing the self-care show. Every other Sunday we do it for an hour. The
And you guys come
self-care
on YouTube
No,
live?
we're doing it on Instagram, but we should be doing it on YouTube Live.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Well,
now I know.
I'm gonna end this here, but I'll talk to you afterwards. Okay.
Yes, my dear.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you guys
so
for
much.
tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Hit the subscribe button and yeah, we'll see you.
Join us. Thank you so much for coming, and all of those who had comments. Thank you. I'm so happy to have been here today.
All right.
So
See you
take
guys.
care. I
Bye.
love you. Bye bye.